Just a bit of an interview. Coventry Uni, about to say college now. I'm Luke Smith, student there. Came to ask you as a professional in the industry to ask you questions, give us some advice, general field of the industry we're in. So just as a start, tell us about yourself, tell us about what you do here, Catchlight photography, all that.
The general overview, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so my name's Edward Taylor. I've been shooting photos and videos since I was around the age of 13. Very much stemmed from my love of skateboarding from a young age. My dad used to film weddings and used to spend a lot of time in front of the computer twiddling away on wedding films, and I realised that's something I never wanted to do. So I got to the point of getting to A-levels and then looking forward to the point of university. It's like, what do I enjoy doing enough that I lose track of time? Because I want to do something that I'm obviously so passionate about that I'm not clock watching. I don't want to have to work for someone else. What can I do that really gets me excited? And I realised in the media course, doing the editing, I would give up my lunch times to sit and edit, and I would completely lose track of time. I was like, right, so this is the one thing that really grabs my attention. If I can find a way of earning a good living doing this, then I'm on to a winning decision. So yeah, it was kind of written in the stars for me to a certain degree. I was just determined to find a way of getting paid. Yeah.
That's great, and it's the same as me. I have that kind of aspiration. I guess mine clicked after spending so long trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Mine stemmed from almost the same idea where I would sit at home for hours and I had all these little videos I put together off games and random stuff, and I was like so inspired by that YouTube generation that I lost track of time just sitting at home with little really rubbish Windows Movie Maker up, trying to figure out how to put GIFs into it and stuff. It's the most horribly not intuitive design ever, but at least spending so much time doing that. And I think obviously I had a lot of time I spanned into it when that was what I wanted to do. So I went to college, and now I'm at uni. I did film and TV production. This is an interview I'm still informing about myself, but that's what I'm super passionate about. I love being able to do this. This is a great experience. Filming, editing, all that, and it's great that we share that kind of same thing, which is especially why I've chosen you to do this with. So that answers one of my questions. So about Catchlight, everything. What would an average week for you here entail then as a place?
Geez.
Yeah.
There is no average week. There's nothing average about what I do at all. I'm purely freelance, and I'm very much in the mindset of say yes, and on the way over figure out how to do it. I'm in the process of figuring out how to do multicam setups, but from what I've seen working with corporate clients is that very often people are expecting huge, big production of people and lots of equipment. It takes a lot of time to set up, and obviously the price is getting quite high. But I think there's, especially in the modern context of lockdowns and everything that's going on in the world, I think there's a real marketplace for people that do events, but hybrid events, and bringing that online to show to a wider audience. So trying to figure out ways, first and foremost, to make it work with the equipment that I already have. And then hopefully try and make some money out of it. And if the money is enough, then just buy more equipment and do that kind of stuff. But in terms of the average week, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to trying to develop lately. Average week, maybe a headshot session, obviously all the nightclubs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, every week. I've got a team of 6 people that go out and do that. And a lot of weddings. Freelance for other wedding companies and go out and shoot on their behalf, and just say yes and figure out how to do it later. And I've got a few documentary opportunities coming up that might come to good fruition. Very exciting ideas behind those, and a few corporate clients to do some editing for their upcoming content. It's a world of content. You know, a little bit of everything all of the time. Instagram, YouTube. You've got to help people give out their message, and if you can do that within business, that's it.
That's a really good answer. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what to say to that actually. Yeah, I love that. That's basically to put it and try not explode. There's a lot to it, and I like the whole idea of giving other people messages, like, especially documentaries. That's I think I absolutely adore to do. I did a few in college I love doing. I've got someone who wants to talk to me in the future about doing one again for a charity, which whenever they get back to me I'm super open for. That's the only one paid thing I've done, which was actually, that's clicked, go and shoot for a house location for them to show off this flat, and they seem to love what I did for that, even though I'm just the students. They were trying to learn and be ultimately better.
Well, you need to bleed for it. It's a competitive industry. You need to give up your time. I have eczema coming up on my hands, and I have eczema coming up on the undersole of my feet that hurt when I walk. And I'm proud of that because I don't give myself enough rest. I bleed for what I do, and I am very confident, and I know what I am doing in the industry. And really successful people will always have their story of how they started from humble, rubbish beginnings, but then you'll find that the kind of people that are really successful give up other areas of their lives. So, yeah.
That brings me to a next question I've written down here, and it's maybe along the same lines, but what are the challenges of it then, doing this?
Challenges?
Yeah, what's the...
What, becoming a freelancer?
Yeah.
Generally. The challenges are... Well, first and foremost, it's a competitive industry. Media, photography, video, content creation, live streaming, animation, all of this stuff is very competitive. And there's a very steep learning curve. When you've come out of university and you've battled to learn something, you get to the top of the mountain and you feel like you've achieved something, but then you realise that it's very crowded at the top of the mountain. There are other people that have already walking the same path. It's hard to define yourself and make yourself unique within such a competitive and busy landscape. Put your phone on silent. Rule number one of any filmmaking. But yeah, it's just being stubborn, I think, in the face of any kind of challenge. Like I say, learn how to do it on the way over, give it a go, and really learn how to fail. Because failure, the only time you truly fail is when you give up. If you fail at something, you just learn what you did wrong, and then next time around go again. With the live streaming, I'm doing it for free. I'm not charging the clients I'm doing it because I want to make my mistakes. And I want to make my mistakes in an arena that it doesn't affect, obviously, the end client. So just make as many mistakes as you can and don't give up. And then no matter what the challenge that comes about, you will find a way through. But I do feel for people that are coming into such a saturated market, even now, because when I was young, there wasn't even YouTube necessarily as we know it now. I was uploading videos to the school network at the school that I was at, just to show people my skateboarding videos and get deleted. I'll put them back up again. But yeah, I feel like it's just going to progressively get harder to do this. Yeah. And hey, I would never say that I've made it. I'm continuously battling, I'm continuously finding a way, and I think any person in this industry will say they have imposter syndrome. Everyone does. You know, you just see how long you can get away before.
Great. Right, 2 seconds, just going to move this, let's get a different shot, because now I'm just being more artsy than I need to be.
No.
I did look at it, I was just like, can't leave it still for too long, can I? But that's this. Keep kicking up.
Do you want a different chair?
No,
You'll
you'll
find
find
something.
So, like you said, it's a crap market. I know everyone's suffering with imposter syndrome, getting through it. I'm hopelessly always going to find a way through it, and that's no matter what I do. I like to level mistakes, like we talked about before this started. Me and filming today, which I'm filming my honest project. There's so many mistakes. Just determined not to do it. I want to get over that. I'm dreading looking back at it now already. But it's a step. It's a thing to make. But on the opposite side of that, positives.
So in terms of positives for this industry, myself coming from Essex, I'm a very communicative kind of person. I do believe, first and foremost, that before you shoot the camera, you need to be able to shoot your personality and enable people to be themselves and forget about the camera being in the room. I think in the long run, as iPhones, Android phones get better and better, the ability of the person to control the situation will be the defining reason why you get to stay in the industry. Because the cameras are just going to be getting better and better. So for me, I'm very much a social person. For me, the positives are that I get to do something different every day. If I was to be stuck in an office, it would be emotional suicide for me. I would get depressed very quickly, having to see the same people every day, doing the same thing, being told what to do, not having your breaks whenever you want, and so becoming the kind of person I am, although I have the ability to have a break whenever I want, I don't give myself that opportunity. Terrible boss. I am my own worst boss. But having the freedom of choice is probably the biggest benefit that I see within freelancing.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely something I'd like to see as a positive. Obviously, just an interview. My positive, I'd always take away from it, is this weird sense of immortality. It's awfully weird to explain, but look at me going, what do you mean by that? I like the idea that what we do digitally will always be around forever. I like that whole set in stone thing. That's like long after I'm gone, about 10,000 years time, maybe there's some kid who finds it on this absolutely old archaic internet box because they're millions of years advanced or something. And it's still there. I think something like this just extends past it, and that's what I absolutely love to do, is to just, even that sensation, it's there. I've done something, it's probably, I'm 80% sure going to be there for like long after. And I just love that. Even like the time from World War II kind of thing, it's all still here, present since they've invented it, shot with it. That's my biggest positive in the weirdest way, aside from obviously I just love everything I do with it.
I would say that more than anything, being part of weddings, people's special day, enabling them to have more fun. I don't want to do anything that isn't fun. So being part of someone's wedding and enabling them to have more fun on their wedding day, to help them have a more enjoyable day, things going smoother, creating as good a memories as I possibly can with my camera. And then all my personal clients that I've met in everyday life beyond the wedding day, we're instantly best friends. Years later, like, oh, how's it going? How's the family? Because I've met all their family, I've met their aunties, their uncles, their brothers, their sisters. And as you say, creating content puts a stamp on people's lives. So
yeah. So jarring the question course a bit, so now the positives, negatives, and about challenges. Let's jump into something a bit different, because now it's more into the asking for advice and stuff. Just general on what skills would you say are crucial for this compared to that, doing this, filming, getting everything done?
So I was never the kind of person to be overly organised. Ask the lecturers that I'm sure will recognise my face from Coventry University. I was never the A-star pupil. I always say I started studying when I left university, when I realised, I need to do this now. I've got no one telling me what to do anymore, which is what I've always wanted. So having the ability to have freedom and to figure things out my own way, although it didn't gel with the mainstream way, because some people leave university, they go straight into a proper television job, proper this, that and the other. But I was determined to find my own way, not necessarily have a job, but to find my own way in things. Networking. Networking is a huge thing. Getting to know people, letting people know that you're the reliable person that can get things done. Organisation. There's lots of apps online that are very good at helping organise your time and your schedules and workflows. All of my weddings, I have a route that I can tick it off online. I've done this, I've done that, and it keeps me very focused and very regimented on what needs to be done. Sometimes as creatives, we hold ourselves to such a high standard that we never finish anything. So sometimes the client sees something different, and sometimes finishing a job, making sure the client's happy, is more important than your own urge to create in the way you want. And to never give up.
Yes, that's solid. Definitely a victim of the second last one you said. I will always think everything I do is just not as great as I want it to be, but I've heard people's feedback, but that's absolutely great. I've gone, are you sure? Don't do the same thing? But definitely that's a massive thing I need to get over.
Just don't be afraid of failing.
The
fear of the unknown immobilises so many people, but to just not listen to other people and to just do it your own way. Just do it. Just buy any old camera. Just do it. Don't ask permission, shoot first, apologise later, break the rules, and just go for it, you know. Like the live stream, I don't have all the kit yet, but I'm doing it. And then when I've earned a bit of money from it, and just show people. So many people, like artists, they're like, oh, amazing art, look at this in real life. I'm like, why don't you show this people online? Everyone's online, so just show people, and then eventually someone will turn around and like, I like that, can you do that for this?
Yeah.
So, no one's online. Yeah.
What's this? Ooh, last one of these again. That just might slightly be the same. But two kind of last questions for this mostly. These are more like aimed. So, what would be your suggestion for an amateur like me to do in order to get recognised or have a foothold?
Well, I guess in terms of starting fresh, I'd be somewhat envious of you, to be honest, because you can just start anywhere. There's opportunities working abroad, working on cruise ships, there was one in Greece that I saw, you're only getting paid like 600 a month, but it's something, and there's lots of different things within that you would be shooting. And I would love that opportunity, but I can't justify it anymore because my income would drop dramatically if I was to move away from my current clients. As a starting position, just there's so many opportunities. Like 90% of the things that people are asking for in terms of media are looking for new people. If you just look out on LinkedIn or anything like that, it's just so long as money isn't your goal, you can find a lot of experience. And so my first point, and something that I still hold deeply and keep myself grounded in my pricing, my work, is the 80-20. You've got to do 80% unpaid for 20% paid. Eventually that 20% paid is paid very well. But you still have to occasionally continuously do the 80% that's unpaid. My advice for someone starting fresh is don't worry about money, worry about experience, worry about networking, worry about opportunities. And there's a lot of opportunities even in the Midlands. And the second thing, get a car. If you can drive, that opens up the world. So, main bit of advice for anyone starting, trying to be a freelancer, make sure you can get to places, buy a car.
That's definitely one I want to put on the list. So I need to learn how to do that myself. No, this is the last one. This is like my best question I can ask. I think if which one of my college teachers will see this, he'll definitely applaud for any advice given. Maybe the easy ones, I think. But for someone who's quite critical and nervous of their own projects, is always kind of putting themselves in a bad position to show because I myself, I'm always quite nervous to show something off. I'm always worried about the feedback. Obviously, being on failure is the greatest thing. What would you suggest? What advice would you give to help someone overcome this?
Someone who's afraid of the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Someone who's afraid of
negative feedback and stuff, I guess. Kind of, in my thoughts, in my head, it's the closing door scenario. I think if I've done something once, that's every option out the window. And
so there's 2 points to this. And I've had this conversation with another freelancer that rented out the studio recently. He was thinking about getting a normal job. And he was thinking, I need some kind of security in what he's doing. And I said, why do you think a normal job is more secure than being freelance? You go to a normal job, you piss one person off, you lost your job, that's your income gone. As a freelance, jobs come and go. So long as you've learned the ability to find something new, and I'll go back to again, live streaming, that's something that I'm learning new, that's my most recent thing. I've tried everything, I'll try everything once and try and find a new income stream, diversify your income stream. It's a lot more secure than going to one person. I get rejected all the time. I price too high, I'm not quite what they're wanting. People want to see the product before they pay for it, which is why Catchlight and Digital Flow are separate portfolios, because I wouldn't get the amount of weddings I get now if they saw my normal work in Digital Flow in nightclubs. It's not necessarily what people want. So just first and foremost, learn what you like about your own work. Go out and do loads of work, put your work out in front of you on a table, and that's a real, I advise that to everyone. Once you've got a certain amount of work, just look at it and ask yourself what you like about your own work. If you can answer that question, then no one can touch you. And the other point, when I was fresh out of university, I lived with another photographer. We were both very good, and we both battled on a daily basis to try and impress each other. We ended up hating each other, but if I could produce a piece of work and show it to him, and for him to be, it's alright, I'm inside, I'm like, yes! Because I know his criticism, day in, day out, he would look for any opportunity to be like, that's rubbish. And if I could just get him, it's alright, I would feel that would be my reward. So just learn to love the rejection, because it's a teaching point, and everything is a teaching point. You shouldn't ever consider anyone's feedback from a bad light. Just take on board. If it's something that you've done within that work, take on board, try and adjust. If not, then that's how it is. Move on. There you go.
Well, thank you so much for letting me do this. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
Happy days.
So recording?
Yeah.